Yeah, greetings people. This video is about Exodus chapter 17 and Numbers chapter 20. People, please, I always say, open the Bible and read it. Read Exodus chapter 17, read Numbers chapter 20 and compare and see the difference for yourself. People, this two chapters are about Moses and how he drew water from a rock for the people of Israel. The people of Israel, or the Israelites, are still on the journey to the promised land, the land of milk and honey. And they came to a desert called Desert Sin. In Exodus 17, the desert sin is spelled S-I-N. In Numbers 20, the desert sin is spelled Z-I-N. Well, we accept. But the two stories, or these two chapters, give us the same story, but the details are different. In Exodus 17, the people are complaining because they're saying, look, you brought us from Egypt. You say you are taking us to a land of milk and honey. We can't see the milk, we can't see the honey. Right now, even common water we can't get to drink. People, you know how it is like on a desert, no water. Because of the complaints, Moses goes to the tent that God asked him to build for him. It's in there, if you read it, you will see. God asked Moses to build a tent for him. Moses goes there, falls on his face, see the glory of the Lord, and basically God tells Moses, go, gather the people or gather the elders and go to the rock and use your rod to strike the rock. You get water for the people. This is in Exodus chapter 17. But then you move on, you read, and you get to Numbers chapter 20, which is saying the same story. People come to Moses with the grievances because there's no water and they are thirsty. And they say, why have you taken us from where there's water to die where there's no water? So Moses in Numbers 20 as well, with Aaron, goes to the tent that they built for the Lord, fall on their faces. The glory of the God shows to them. And he says to them, go gather the people, go to the rock and speak to the rock. And then I will use my power to make water come out of the rock. This is what God said to Moses in Numbers 20. He said, speak to the rock. In Exodus 17, he says, strike the rock. In Numbers 20, when Moses and the people got to the rock out of frustration, imagine somebody is complaining in your ears all the time. What are you going to do? You're going to be frustrated. Anyway, so Moses, out of frustration, uses his rod that God gave him to strike the rock twice. Water still came out for the people. The people had water to drink. They watered their beasts as well. But because of this, in Numbers 20, God says to Moses, he has disobeyed him. You see, this is the problems that we're talking about. The two stories are the same, but when you go into detail, they are different. Exodus 17, God asks Moses to strike the rock for water to come out. Numbers 20, he said, speak to the rock. But Moses, out of frustration, because the people complaining and making noise, stressing him out, strike the rock twice. Water comes out and God says, you and Aaron have disobeyed me. And the thing is, it's claimed that Moses wrote these 2 books. The first 5 books of the Bible. Exodus, Moses wrote it. Numbers, Moses wrote it. And it's giving us the same story in 2 different ways, 2 different details. You know, and we're supposed to believe this book. Is it not the same Moses who wrote these books? Or what, is it not the same God who was giving these revelations or inspirations for these 2 books to be written? The same stories, but the details are different. People, these are the questions we're asking. For me to believe a book like this, that even the same story repeated somewhere else doesn't tally. And when you say it, the apologists, the defenders of Christendom will say, yes, the Yahwists and the Elohists. That's why these differences are there. Is it not the same God who is giving these 2 sets of sects, or these 2 groups of religious writers, the same, information? I'm asking. Some people will say, oh, God chose the Israelites because they're good historians. Is this how to write good history? People, I'm asking.